Hello friends. So today is our fifth day and today we are going to take up words starting with E. 10 words as usual. But I'm thinking of increasing the number of words per day to about 25. In a couple of days I will make that change. So today we will have 10 words and we start with evasive. Evasive you will find in conjunction with answer. Somebody gives you an evasive answer. That means you are not getting a direct reply. That gentleman is probably trying to hide something, or he does not want to commit himself to something, or he has some interest in hiding the truth. Then he will give you an evasive answer. So evasive means avoiding something. In cricket also, if the bowler throws a bouncer, the batsman may duck. That is an evasive action. Not confronting the ball, letting it pass over his head, that is an evasive action. So that's a part of the game, and there is some skill involved in evasion also. Otherwise, also, when you are giving an evasive answer, it will leave your hearer with a feeling of, they will not be very satisfied with your answer. But you are not saying that you are not answering that question. You are answering, but he cannot make anything of it. That will be an evasion. For example, suppose suppose you are a member of parliament belonging to some party. You believe that capital punishment should be banned. Your party thinks otherwise. Now a reporter asks you, "What's your opinion on capital punishment?" Now you don't want to go against your party line, so you will say, uh, "We in our party we have diverse opinions on this subject," and you may stop at that. So you have not told him what's your opinion, but you have told him something that the party, uh, some people have some other opinion. Still, you have not given yourself away. That is an evasive answer. Okay. So cricket may be in cricket also, as I told you, if you duck, then that is an evasive action. Similarly, if your exam, if you have flunked your exam, you have failed your exam, and you are upset, and your dad doesn't know about it, but he notices that you are not happy. He asks you, "Is something wrong?" Will you give him the truth, or will you have an evasive answer? Okay, I'll let you. The next word is exhort. Exhort. Exhort means uh, to encourage somebody to do something, to put in more efforts, to be more successful. For example, in a match, say in a football match or cricket match, when you think that your team is going down, what do? You exhort them to put in more efforts. How? You shout, you somehow cheer them up, and that is your strategy because you think that they might otherwise lose. You are trying to gear them up for trying harder. That is exaltation. You are exalting them, and while it's an effort on your part to encourage them, it will be effective only if the situation is critical or near critical. For example, if your younger brother is, you know, uh, just starting a term, a class, you cannot straight away say, you cannot straight away exhort him to study harder for the annual exams, which will be 1 year away, because in that case there will be no sense of urgency at the start of the term. But if there is only 1 month left and you feel that he has not studied, hard enough, then you can exhort him. So exhort means when you exhort, you appeal earnestly or you try to encourage, and there is always a sense of urgency. So in the war times, the Prime Minister may exhort the citizens to donate liberally to the war fund. And similarly, if there is a riotous situation in your town, there have been riots, then the administration may exhort the citizens to remain calm. That will be the second word. Then we have expedient. What is expedient? Expedient is a quick solution to something. A solution which may be effective for the time being, and you're not breaking the law also, but morally it might be wrong. So, in the long term, it may have bad consequences. That is expedient. It's a practical solution. For example, if a guest is arriving at your home and there's a lot of, uh, things are lying around, it's not looking very clean, it's looking rather dirty, your house. What do? You pick up the things and put them in the store or some spare room and you just close it, lock it. Okay? So now your room is looking clear enough. That might be an expedient solution. Not a very serious example. There is a situation where you are going to vote, and if you vote in the government's favor, I mean, you will be going against, the opposition's role, which is generally to confront the motives of the government. But if you vote in their favor, you might prevent some other parties taking over. So, though you don't like the government, of course you are in opposition, you would like to be in government yourself. But voting against them will lead to a situation which is worse than this. In that case, your decision to vote in favor of the government will be an expedient decision. Practical solution. And it may have the wrong consequences in the sense, I mean, in the long term, it might be, it may cause problems to you, as it is obvious. So, that is expedient. Expedient is something practical, quick, but not exactly morally right. Then you have the next word, errant. E-R-R-A-N-T. Errant is an old-fashioned word, but your journalists don't know that. So, it might appear in your paper. Errant means, of course, it comes from ERR, to make a mistake, an error. So, errant is something which is deviating from its normal course. For example, an errant child will be one who is not obeying to his parents. And similarly, an errant missile will be the one which misses its target, maybe a military base, and lands at some civilian house, some civilian base. Similarly, an email which gets sent to somebody other than for whom it was intended, then it will be, I mean, you can call it an errant email, which has gone to some fellow which you didn't want to send it to actually. Similarly, suppose you have a dog in your home and it doesn't bark much, and suddenly if you start doing that to every stranger or every visitor to your home, its behavior is errant. There is something wrong and it might cause you some concern. Maybe you will take it to the doctor or something. So errant is deviating from the normal, and it might be applicable to, I mean, anybody where you think that this is a normal thing and they are doing it otherwise. So there could be an errant missile, there could be an errant email, there could be an errant child, and of course an errant behavior of your pet. Then we have equivocal. Equivocal, as you can readily see, there equi means equal, and vocal, related to saying something. So if you are saying something which is equal to, I mean, equal to both the sides of the thing, so you are not making yourself very clear which side you are on, then you are being equivocal. So you are avoiding a direct reply. And this is something, I mean, we have just learned evasive, something like evasive. Equivocal means equally strong on both sides. So if you want to say that you support somebody without any condition, then you will say, I support him unequivocally. So unequivocally means certain, and equivocal means uncertain. That is the dichotomy here. You should be careful, because equivocal has got a negative connotation. Unequivocal has got a positive connotation. When you say you're doing something unequivocally, you are very certain about it. Okay, so somebody has got, if you say that there is nothing equivocal about a person, means it's not that he alternates between being good and being bad, being rude and being very mannered. I mean, he has got a definite character. There is nothing equivocal about him. Similarly, an equivocal response may further cause, speculation and confusion. A thesis which is not very clear may be equivocal. Similarly, if the results of a research, they fail to reach a conclusion, then you will say the results are equivocal. And somebody of doubtful character may also be called an equivocal person, though rarely. Then the next word is epitome. Its pronunciation is rather difficult because its spelling is Epitome, as you can see here. And most of the people, if they don't know already, they will pronounce it epitome, which will be incorrect thing to do. It's epitome. And epitome means a fine example of something. For example, you could say Mahatma Gandhi was an epitome of truth, as if truth has got embodied in him. Similarly, Shastriji was an epitome of, simplicity, humility. Somebody which you think is so proud of his knowledge, you may say that he thinks he is an epitome of all knowledge in the world. Can we say that India is an epitome of democracy? Perhaps we can. Can we say that China is an epitome of industriousness? Yes, we can say that. And you may regard Hitler to be an epitome of evil. Most certainly. Okay. And your spouse, you may think your spouse is an epitome of sophistication. And your spouse in turn may think you are an epitome of laziness, or vice versa. Who knows? Okay. British monarchy may be considered as an epitome of tradition. So epitome is a fine example of something. The epitome of, never and epitome. Okay, and never call it epitome. Then you have ephemeral. Ephemeral is something lasting for a very short time, short-lived thing. In ephemeral, there is HEMAR that in earlier times meant a day. So originally it was for, something lasting for a day, a fever or something. Many insects have a life of one day. But afterwards it was generalized and now it means anything lasting for a very short time. Depends what you consider a short term. For example, if a chief minister resigns within a month, a couple of months, you would say that his reign or his term was ephemeral. Fame, is ephemeral. Wealth may also be ephemeral. The dew drops on the flower in the morning, they are ephemeral because they disappear very soon as the sun comes out. Ephemeral pleasures, physical pleasures, they are ephemeral. Fashion is by its very nature ephemeral. So, we come to the last but one, ninth word, embroil. Embroil is, you use the word when you are in a situation which is bad or unpleasant. For example, you are embroiled in a dispute, embroiled in a fight. You may be embroiled in an argument with your neighbor, or you may be embroiled in a conflict with your boss. And you'd always say that somebody got you embroiled. You don't go and embroil yourself. Okay? There is always this sense, I got embroiled, somebody embroiled me, something like this. A difficult situation. And its most common example is somebody may be embroiled in a scandal. That is the most common. And generally in passive always. Embroiled, not embroiled. Passive. You may be, or somebody else may be embroiled in a scandal. And with that we come to the last word, which is empathy. EMPATHY. Empathy is similar to sympathy, but one step more intense. Sympathy means you feel sorrow or pity for someone who is suffering from something. Empathy means you put yourself into his or her shoes and you feel the same pain. At least imagine. And it will happen if you are very kind-hearted or very close to them. Then you will empathize, not sympathize. So empathy is feeling one with them, somebody who is in trouble. That is empathize. So with that we come to the end of today's lesson. So I will just read it out, the 10, along with their collocations. Actually, the meaning of a word, it can never be understood in isolation. Because if you say that this word means this, you give another word, then there was hardly any reason to have two words for the same thing. So two words will always have some difference, a shade difference. There will always be a shade difference between these two, any two words. And therefore, when you try to learn a word, you always look for a calculation. What does it come up with? What is its most consistent partner? Only then you can put it, you can use it correctly. So, evasive, an evasive answer exhorts somebody to do something, in a better way. An expedient solution, practical and quick, but maybe not morally right. Then an errant child or an errant missile. Then an equivocal reply, which is not very clear. An epitome of truth, ephemeral fame, an elusive answer. I'm sorry, we did not go through elusive. Okay, so this is elusive. Elusive means something which you cannot grasp physically or mentally. So a solution to a maths problem would be elusive. There might be a solution to your problem in the office which might be eluding you for the time being, and you can say that it's elusive. If you cannot catch your pet easily when it's running around and giving you a hard time, you say your pet is being elusive. So elusive, anything that you cannot grasp physically or mentally, that is elusive. Then you have embroiled in a dispute, and finally empathize with somebody, have empathy for somebody. Okay friends, so that will be all for today. And as I told you earlier, I'm thinking of increasing a number of words. Just let me know, if you don't mind. Just let me know if the difficulty level of the word is too much, is it too high, or is it okay, or is it too low. Any of the three, I would like to know. Thanks so much for your presence. Thank you so much.